Hey, what's going on, guys? Banji here. So I thought today would be a fun video idea to maybe do some like tips and tricks on how to make your tricks look a little bit more stylish, or you know, how to increase your steez a little bit in the new skate. I've been playing this playtest for quite a while. I know it's been at least over a year since I initially started playing the playtest. I put in probably over like 600, I want to say, hours into the game. So I've had a chance to, you know, ride around, get familiar with the area, get familiar with the controls and stuff. Because I've been seeing a lot of people have kind of a hard time with the new transition physics and with how different everything feels now. This is not like the older skate games. The transition physics are actually a little bit different and a bit more intentional now. Just kind of want to touch on vert a little bit because I don't see too many people talking about like vert and transition. There's just a lot to learn with this new game because like the systems feel different on a completely different engine. So refamiliarizing yourself with like the skate controls and what they changed and what they kept the same can be a little overwhelming, and with how different things feel, you can kind of get a little lost. So hopefully this will help you guys and at least set you on on the right path of like learning how to make this game feel a little bit better. Doing like frontside smiths on coping is actually, for the most part, pretty easy. It's just making use of both the power slide system and the new grind system, and using them together in order to position your board to get into a front smith. So all I'm doing is power sliding towards the coping, making sure that my back truck kind of gets towards the top first, then just inputting a smith grind. So if you don't know, you can actually position into like smith grinds and feeble grinds. So if you look at my controller overlay, you can see that all I'm doing is kind of doing like a quarter circle up input from the center. It's just out to the right and then quarter circle up. And then you can see my skater position their board. Oh man. The replay editor, man, it's so buggy. The power slide will actually help you get into pretty much anything that has to do with like coping tricks. That's kind of your key to getting into anything you want and unlocking like a bunch of tricks that you can do on coping. So getting familiar with that is really important too. But yeah, that's all you have to do. It's just power slide and then input a smith grind. There you go. Easy as pie. You can find this mini ramp on the far side of Bonsky, kind of near the road. This is a really good place to practice new tricks and get yourself familiar with how transition works. I spent so many hours over here just figuring out how the transition system worked. Yeah, and then once you get good at that, if you can get good at doing smiths and feebles, you can pretty much do every other trick from there. That pretty much unlocks like a bunch of other tricks like back tails. You can also do front tails. And when you get really comfortable, you can start doing like alley-oop grinds. Like that. I guess the next tip I would probably give is to get familiar with how to re-enter transition, either regular or fakie. And you can do this by essentially just rotating your board around and getting it oriented to drop back in fakie or drop back in regular. Yeah, so essentially if you wanted to drop back in fakie, you just need to orient your board so that, you know, you can drop in fakie easier, essentially. All right, we'll go back in with the front tail. Oh my gosh.
Oh my god, he has 600 hours in this game. He can't even do a front tail. Oh my god.
Okay, so we'll get back into front tail, but I'll rotate my stick. You see that? Now I can drop back in Fakie, and if I want to do a Fakie trick, boom, I have access to that stance now. So if you want to do a rock and roll, so they don't have like a proper like rock and roll animation, but you can kind of just like make it yourself essentially. Like I said, it is a very much a feel-based thing. You kind of just have to feel it out in order to get it to work properly. But once you kind of get that feeling, it'll make it a lot easier to just like freestyle, like throw lines together, and just get that timing down right. That. Do a back 50. Come over here. Slow flip into tuck knee. Front 50. Maybe like front Smith. The tail. That wasn't the cleanest landing, but you kind of get what I'm going for. Just kind of like utilizing some of the stuff that we already talked about. Another tip that I can give you for some transition skating is doing slow flips and grabbing early. I remember one of my biggest gripes with the earlier skates is that the transition from flipping your board to grabs, there was no like in between. You essentially had to finish off your flip animation, and then that it would be a hard stop, and then you would have to grab. In this game, they actually found a way to blend it together. It's not quite like flipping and grabbing your board indie and throwing it back under your feet, but it's kind of like it kind of blends the two together. I'm hoping that they'll keep adding on to this feature, but I can essentially show you what I mean right here. So first I will just do it how it is in Skate, like in Skate 3 and Skate 2. I'll do a flip trick and then I'll grab, right? There's like a clear difference between the two. Now I'll do it again, but grab early. Oh, see, that was a really good one. Yeah. See, they're like super crouched down and they're already getting ready to float their hand to kind of catch the board at the same time that they would put their feet down. Like that, oh man, it's like, it's that kind of stuff that really makes me like this game a lot, is because of those little like attentive details. Now I would prefer if there was a way for us to be able to catch our board with our hands and like not have our feet on the grip tape. That would be really nice, and I think that would be really cool. But still, like this, I think this is such a massive improvement from what we had before. Just like blending those animations together. Like it looks so nice. But yeah, that along with some of the other tips, you can just kind of, you know, throw those things together in your line, and it'll help make your transition skating kind of stand out a little bit more. Especially when you're like, if you're posting footage or you're sharing it with friends, you can get those like different animations and you can make your skating look a little bit more unique and a little bit more different.